We're just two DJs talking about caffeine.
Like, no, caffeine is like meth. You understand? I'm like, oh yeah, true. We're just like two fucking DJs.
Oh my goodness gracious! I think we're live.
Oh wow. Oh wow.
It's such a wow, such a wow factor.
Oh, dude,
Fuck! That was so close to hitting the mic stand.
dude, that was fucking peak, bro.
That is peak cinema.
Peak cinema.
Absolute fucking peak.
So, Techwick, Callum, welcome.
Yep. Thank you.
Welcome to the stew. Welcome to this random drum set next to us. Obviously,
Yeah.
we're not recording this, so no one fucking knows.
Yeah,
there's a
I mean,
drum
I
set
could
here,
just
there's a
slap
drum
the
set.
crash cymbal right now.
Do it.
Just...
Prove it. And there you have it. There is indeed a drum set here.
Unfortunately.
But it's all right. It gives a bit of ambiance.
Yeah.
But mate, how have you been? What's been happening? What's the latest?
Oh, look, it's been a roller coaster lately. Like, I mean, recently I actually resigned from my job because for like mental health reasons. Like,
because you're doing, just for record, you were doing aircon installation.
Yeah, I was doing aircon installations, maintenance and whatnot. And the whole reason I left, like, I was like not being trained properly. Like, I was being picked on and whatnot, and it was just
Fuck that.
and
yeah.
it was obviously decreasing my mental health, like in a big way.
Yeah.
Especially because like not only that, I had to prioritize with like also like DJing, music production, whatnot, and then just keeping up with life as a 19, 20-year-old. It takes a toll on you, but it's I'm getting better now. Like, I've obviously applied for new jobs. Like, I'm still waiting for responses, but I mean,
that's half of getting a new job is just waiting.
Yeah, that's it. But look, I mean, I may have quit that company, but I'm still in the process of like, oh, do I want to continue the trade? Like, obviously, if you're doing a trade, you want to like go through your apprenticeship, complete it, become a tradesman, whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, I have a mate, he's in another company. He does the exact same thing I do. And he's like, for a long time, like, oh, why don't you just leave this company, come work with us? Like, it'll be so much better. And like, I really like disregarded it for a bit. But now that I've left, and like, because obviously at first, like, for the first day or two of me resigning, it's like, oh, you know, fuck this. I don't want to do this fucking trade anymore.
Yeah.
And then coming back to it now, it's like, oh, you know, maybe I could consider it.
Yeah. So did you want to do aircon installation, or was it something that you kind of tried and then ended up running with?
So with that, I did find it interesting because before that I was doing a metal fabrication apprenticeship. So and for a company that was doing roll cages for like motorsport and stuff.
Yeah, right. That'd be fucking.
Yeah,
right.
I mean with that as well, like kind of sidetracking a bit, but with that, like the whole thing of it, just, you know, we'd have all these cars come in, like you had your Supras, your Silvias, like all the JDM stuff. It was pretty hectic for a bit, but like as well, I wasn't getting trained properly, and it just kind of spiraled out. I lasted there for about 8 months, and then I came into aircon Jan 2022.
Yeah.
And I kind of stuck with that for a bit. But over time, my mental health had just been deteriorating for the longest time. And it was literally this week where I'm like, you know what? Fuck this. I don't want to be here if I'm just not going to be happy anymore.
Yeah, and I suppose especially if it's taking away from something that does make you happy, like something like music, something like I'm obviously not going to like put words, you know, say that like that's something that you like. So I'll let you explain that, obviously.
Oh, no, look, my thing for music, like, I fucking love it. Like, you know, I'd do anything to like, you know, have a career and, you know, just, I'd do fucking anything to just, you know, at least make somewhat of a living out of it because, you know, I look up to like all these people and like even some of my friends I look up to. Like, I mean, as much of a short king he is, like Yoshi, I look up to him, bro.
Much of
Like,
a short king.
no,
he is.
like honestly,
No, I mean, hey, someone said it in it. No, I love
like,
him too.
Josh, if you are listening to this, like, I love you, but like, seriously though, I could like lift you up and throw you halfway
Dude,
across the
that's
world.
like, but that's like half his. Dude, actually, I have a really funny story about that. I don't want to derail.
Nah,
your story,
let me
but-
hear this.
Okay, dude. Okay, well, this is Josh, and it was it would have been during your shot.
Oh yeah.
And I remember my brother was there. My brother's like, he's 25, turning 26, and he's like a big dude, right? He was going to the gym when he was young. So he's not a fucking small dude.
No,
it was a problem for me growing up because he was yoked as fuck and I was not. But point is, they were starting a death pit, right?
Oh no.
And pretty much, my brother, he's pretty fucking into it. He's like, yeah. Josh is the same. Naturally, when he sees the death pit,
Oh,
he's
yeah.
in there. Fucking say less. And so my brother just starts like running at Josh, who is like, he's like a bulky dude. And Josh just goes like, nah, and just fucking ducks so hard out of the way. My brother just falls on the ground and he's just like, and then you see him afterwards. He was like, dude, what the fuck? I thought we were doing that. And he was like, bro, look at you and look at me. Fuck that. Fuck that. And like, poor Josh, just imagining like death, who's getting crushed. He holds his own in those fucking pits,
Honestly,
bro.
like as much as energy as he likes to showcase within shows and whatnot, he does know his limitations. Like,
yeah,
especially
yeah.
with him being like that, like there. Like I'm not saying this is to scale. Like for reference, I'm currently sitting down, like, and I'm holding my hand at least towards my head height.
Yeah, because
Like-
it's a. Because from my perspective, Callum is sitting down. It's like holding your hand up to about your eyes. But then from my perspective, that is literally like an Oompa Loompa because you're sitting down. But obviously, if you were standing
As I
up,
said,
it'd be
it's not to
accurate.
scale, but like,
Yeah, it would be better if obviously anyone could see a fucking picture of it.
Yeah.
It's just for me. It's my little treat. Sorry, I'm
he just
derailing.
secretly has a like album of just Yoshi, and he just like jacks off to it. And
Dude,
whatnot.
oh no, dude, how dare you expose me? No. Fuck. I'm gonna burn it now. No. Fuck, my girlfriend's gonna listen to this now.
Oh
She's gonna
no.
know. Nah, it's alright, she'll be fine.
Yeah,
But-
buddy.
Sorry, yeah, I completely fucking absolutely derailed your
No,
what you were
like,
saying.
Like I honestly like it's simple. Like I'm not gonna like go fully in depth to it. I'm not gonna name names and whatnot, but it was simple. That's basically what happened, and I'm just glad I get to like express it because like my thing for it is if you do want to go into a trade or if you like do want to do something in terms of work, you have to like understand that like you can go for it to understand what you're doing, but if the workplace itself and the people around you aren't really helping you, it's time to get out. Like
Yeah.
and that's what I did.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I think that like half the time a workplace is built up by the people there. And it's like if you can have like one of the best workplaces on paper and you can theoretically love it. But if the people are shit, the people are shit. And you could have a place that you might not necessarily think you'd enjoy, but if the people are good, you like enjoy it.
Yeah,
At the
that's
end of the
it.
day, you have to look out for yourself. And I think it's admirable. I think you should fucking be proud of yourself and fucking get out of it, because I know that kind of sucks, especially when you're all of a sudden jobless and you're like, fuck,
Yeah.
what now?
Yeah, that's
But-
it, man.
But I think it's what you got to do. You got to take one step back to take two steps forward. But yeah, so I want to jump into your music journey a little bit.
Oh wow.
So I want to take a little pivot onto Music Street, where I'm very curious as to know what came first. Did your DJing come first, or did your producing come first?
It was actually my DJing that came first.
Oh shit!
Yeah, so it was around 2015, 2016. I started listening to lots of EDM, like, you know, Skrillex, Avicii, like all the big names during the like early, late 2000s period.
Yeah.
There were a lot of artists, like I was listening to Skrillex, Avicii, Pendulum.
Oh
like,
yeah.
all the big names.
Right. Yeah. I
all
see,
the,
yeah. I
like-
see what you're
and it was
saying.
like multi-genre too.
Because just for the record, how old are you at this time?
As of right now, I am currently 20 years old.
I was in like when you started listening to, when you were kind of deep into the game, early 2000s.
Yeah, like
2010.
2015, 2016, I would have been around 11 to 12 years old.
That's wild to me, bro. That's fucking crazy
Yeah.
because I remember like being that age and like that shit was around,
Yeah.
but I was just like so I just didn't understand it at all. I was just like, bro, but there's no guitar. What do you
Yeah.
mean? This can't be music. I
Yeah.
don't get it.
And like especially around the era, like MLG was still popular as well.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
so come 2017, I start going into high school. I pick up my first ever set of decks as like sort of a birthday present
Right,
around
right.
October.
Do you remember what kind they were? Were they like good or were they just kind of
They were DDJ SB2s, and
Oh, that's
I
not
still
bad.
have them to this day.
Yeah, fuck yeah, vintage.
Yeah, bloody fucking old girls, but they still fucking work for some reason.
If they work, they work. That's all that
Honestly,
matters.
they are indestructible.
Fuck yeah, dude.
And then I kind of kept going with that. I kept my stage alias as like my full name, like Callum Harrison, because it was unoriginal for the time because you had like Martin Garrix, Oliver Heddens, whatnot.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just kind of stuck with it because it was simple and I couldn't really come up with a name.
Yeah, yeah.
But I went through multiple aliases. I'm not gonna name them because they're all fucking cringy as fuck. But then come, I think it was 2019, 2020, when like the early stages of COVID, and I just thought, you know what, fucking, I'll stick with Techwick because
Nice.
I thought of it and like I thought it sounded cool.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'll sit with it, I'll go with it. And yeah, I've just kind of stuck with it since. Like,
Nice, nice. So it just kind of like stuck with you and you were just like, fuck yeah, this sounds dope, I'm in.
yeah, like, and also like, whenever people hear it, like, some people will think, oh, it's just some like cringy ass white boy. But then others will think, wow.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
Like, I'm not saying that's definitely like what the whole shenanigans is, but yeah, that's what I can kind of imagine.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Fuck it
And and then 2021, like when COVID was really hitting everyone, I started producing in
Right.
FL.
So you were like a lockdown kind of producer,
Yeah,
baby.
and I started in FL, like making shitty ass rhythm. Like,
Yeah, boy, FL.
yeah, like as weird as it is for people to hear, like especially if those who are listening like right now, and I've told them like, oh yeah, I use Ableton, whatnot. Like I started out in FL.
Yes.
And
yes.
I got to understand like beat matching and placement, and it was just all rhythm and bro step for the time being.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was all like because I was in the beginning stages and I was like, oh yeah, this sounds sick, but then listening back to it's like,
Oh my god, dude.
what the
It's like,
fuck is this?
Dude, that is just the fucking cycle. It's just like no matter what it is at the time, even like it's like I'm sure even shit you're making now, you're just like I know as an artist, you're always gonna have the thoughts of just like this is sick, this is sick, this is sick. No, that stuff sucks, but this is cool.
Yeah.
And then a year later, you're just like no. This is cool.
Yeah,
It's just like
just a
fuck,
never-ending cycle.
yeah, just an endless cycle of just self-deprecating your own music. You're just like, fuck, can never win.
Yeah, that's it.
So, I mean, I want to come back to your producing because I know you have an untapped fucking well of knowledge. But I want to loop back around because you've done some pretty fucking cool gigs too around Sydney in your time. What's been your favorite gig ever?
My favorite gig so far, honestly, was Must Die at Oxford Art Factory.
I was honestly thinking you'd say that.
No, because originally, because it was me, Equator, Nugs, and Rosera. Well, and Neotech as well, because
Yeah.
originally we're all meant to be supporting. Neotech was meant to be co-headlining as well.
Yeah.
But we're all meant to be supporting Virtual Riot.
Yeah.
Before he got sick and everything, and he had to cancel his entire tour. I was so pressed for that. But then when I figured we we're doing Must Die, I'm like, holy shit, I need to get onto this right fucking now.
Yeah.
And like this was still when 86 was focused on dubstep
Yeah,
and whatnot
yeah.
before they went to UKG and jungle and whatnot.
Yeah, because that would have been basically this time last year, maybe a little bit over a year ago. at this
Yeah,
point.
no. It was this time this year, like, or sometime this year,
Right,
that
yeah,
this would have happened because, and I'm just figuring, if I mean, I just thought I'd be either an opener or somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
And when I figured I was before Callum or Neotech, which
Yeah.
ironic,
I've seen that. No, there is a video. The reason why I actually think of this night is because I remember seeing a picture that you posted of you, Mustai, and Neotech all like pointing at each
actually,
other,
no,
like the Spider-Man.
Actually, no, that there is a funny story to that. So it was me, Neotech, and Audient. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but we're all named Callum.
Oh, I must have misinterpreted. Yeah, right. I see. That's fucking jokes.
Yeah, so with oh my god, what multiverse is this? And we just started doing the Spider-Man meme.
Yeah.
So we just thought it was fucking funny.
That's fucking jokes. I don't know why that image like just sticks in my head for some reason when I think of you.
No, but no, it was funny. Like, and it wasn't just me who thought about this. It was also the other Callums, both Olivia's, so Nugs and Rosera, and then Jonah Equator as well. Like, we all thought it was funny as fuck, so we did it, and we just all had a fucking laugh about it.
That's fucking jokes. That's so good.
Yeah,
that's fucking dubstep for you though. I feel like dubstep's so wholesome. I don't know what
honestly,
it is.
that's it. Like, you know, it's just like, it's not just about, you know, getting out there and whatnot. It's just about making friends, having a laugh, just having a good time overall. Like,
yeah. I feel like I just feel like dubstep, as opposed to other genres, has a lot more of it's like very based in I don't know exactly what the word I'm looking for, but like a complete opposite of competitiveness. Like you don't feel any sort of like competitiveness in dubstep. And I think that's even true when it comes to like labels and shit and like all this different stuff. Because I was talking to one guy who's like a D&B producer now, that he's in England. He used to make dubstep, and he's literally saying, because I was asking for advice about like hitting up labels and whatever, and he was just like, dude, dubstep is so much nicer than D&B. Sometimes like you barely get a response for D&B ever, but a lot of the time you get a response to like dubstep, at least like a no, you know, rather than just like a dipping out. But it's just an interesting kind of observation to kind of see, because that's so wholesome. That's so wholesome. I love that so much, and that's like that kind of like sums up why I've been getting into dubstep so much, because it just feels wholesome. It's dumb, it's stupid, it's wholesome.
Yeah, I mean, literally, if I were to like say that dubstep was the most funnest genre, not just in a production standpoint, but just overall, like, I'd 100% agree with whoever says that.
I'll say it fucking right now. It is. It just is.
Yeah, honestly.
I'll fucking slap that on my forehead, dude. 100%. And you're right, especially with the production too. And I think that's a good segue, because I want to know quickly, have you always made... So you've always made dubstep?
Most of the time, my production is dubstep. There was at least one release that was not dubstep.
Oh yeah, I know that was like a bass house kind of track.
Yeah, it was a bass house track I made with Mumfighter. He's a Marrickville based rapper, and his whole thing is that he's on roller skates. Like, I'm not shitting you right now. He will literally go around Marrickville and the city entirely on roller skates. It's the funniest shit. The first time I met him was at a gig in St. Peter's, where he was rapping. He was supporting some band in the like local band that was going on a whole tour and everything. And you know, he's such a wholesome guy. Like, at first it's like, oh fuck, like, it's kind of, at first you may think it's a bit weird, like the way he does things, but then you go to meet him, it's like he's the most wholesome guy ever.
Yeah, that's so like, nice.
You know, he's very open out there. Honestly, I got to sit down, have a drink with him. He's He's a very cool guy for what he
Fuck
is.
yeah! I find it funny because instantly I have the image of how there's like a slice of people that like don't know him as Mumfire, don't really know what's happening, and then they go to one of his shows and they're just like, why is there a fucking MC roller skating? It's like, am I in the right place right now? Like, is this where I'm supposed to be?
No, like I'd seen some of his content before seeing him, and I kind of expected it.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, one day if he's ever because he mostly focuses on hyperpop.
Yeah.
Like the whole synthy, like fast
the
rap
real
type stuff.
aggressively synthy kind of stuff.
And he agreed to a bass house track, and I'm like, holy shit, fuck yeah.
Oh fuck yeah, why not, right?
Yeah. What is it? He after a bit, he also sent me the stems for the song. He's like, fuck it, just make a VIP of it. And I'm like,
nice.
Yeah, like I'm in the process of making a VIP for it, like festival, like trap type shit.
Nice. That'd be sick.
Because as much as I like to make dubstep, like I want to like expand more.
Yeah, I think you should as well, especially because I think it's like I think it's a really good point where it's like if you get stuck making the same thing, then it's like
I don't want to be using the same fucking gun bass every fucking song.
Well, dude, that's exactly it. Yeah, because it's like you can make like any sort of fucking genre, even if you made like a tech house genre. But it's like if you made like a tech house song, it's like if you're feeling inspired to do that, you can probably learn something from it that you can apply to somewhere else and just give you new ideas.
Yeah, like I have at least a few songs that are not like dubstep based. Like I have a few drum and bass songs.
Yeah.
I have some UKG. Like you'll name it, I'll probably have it.
Yeah. Hyper.
I even experimented with hardstyle a bit. Like I have this one track with Future Dill. Buddy, good old Dylan. Yeah, it's like this euphoric hardstyle track.
Yeah.
Admittedly, I never got to finishing it, but like one day I want to like hit him up, be like, hey, we have this track. Do you want to finish it or do you want to like start a new one?
Yeah.
Because listening back on it, I'm like, holy shit, this had so much potential and I fucking did not do anything with it.
Yeah.
And I guess with the whole production thing, like it's also time management as well because you have so much going on in a day. Like it's like you have to like compensate some of it just to even get like an hour's worth of studio time.
Yeah. What's a way that you combat that, or not necessarily combat, but foster the balance between life and producing? What are your kind of methods for being able to do that?
So when I was still working, I'd make it. I'd get up, have breakfast, go to work, finish my day, go home. And if I'm feeling up to it, I'd do at least an hour of like making a song or finishing one. If I wanted to, I could extend it for a bit and then just go on with the rest of my life, go have dinner, go to bed, shower, shit, whatever.
You should shit and shower.
Yeah. Not in the way I just said it.
Yeah.
But I mean,
don't shit in the shower.
No.
But you should do both of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So that was your kind of like routine. And
and then lately it's been a bit overthrown because because before I resigned, I was mostly working in the city, so I had to get up at like ridiculously early times, get out there, and because like I'll touch on this a bit later on, like because I've distanced myself from caffeine entirely. For reasons I'll explain a bit later.
As you probably should. I have some stories about that too.
But I distanced myself from it, and just getting up at these ridiculously early times, and always getting to bed so late, it just took a massive ass toll on me.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
As soon as I get home, I just be in bed, just black out straight away.
Oh yeah. I mean, like shit like sleep like that, especially over a very long time, like a cumulative, that really is gonna fuck you. Like you're fine if you only sleep like 4 hours one night. Like if it's just one night, you can make up for it. You can have like a half hour nap. Like you can combat that. But if you're only getting like 5 to 6 hours for like even like 2 fucking months, like it's just like, dude, you're fucked. You might as well just be drunk half the time.
Yeah, that's it. And that's exactly what I was going through at the time. And it still affects me to this day, But
Yeah.
now that I've sort of resigned and just, I'm like sleeping in a bit more, I'm slowly getting myself like back together. But yeah, no, my advice would just be just get good sleep, organize yourself, and just fucking do what you need to do.
Yeah, 100%. I think I echo that too, because I think that it's like you do need sleep. You need to get consistent sleep, whatever that looks like for you. Some people might need 7, some people might need 9, but factor it in.
Yeah.
And I think as well, one of the biggest things I think about is like exactly right, like the time management and like the discipline of like sticking to whatever schedule works for you, because everyone's schedule is going to be different, but as long as you can just like be really committed to sticking to that and become like sustainable.
Yeah, that's it.
So I want you to take me through kind of how caffeine interrelated to all this. Was that a factor into draining you, or was it just a problem?
No, I had a huge caffeine problem when I was doing my first apprenticeship, which was the metal fabrication one.
Yeah.
Like, every day I'd be having at least fucking 2-3 monsters every day for fucking months. Yeah. And then as soon as I quit my job, it took me an extra 2 months before I decided, you know what? If I keep going with this is going to fucking kill me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I just stopped entirely.
Yeah.
And, it was good because I got the sense of relief and, I started training myself to just to go through life without it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But then when I started the aircon job, it was about probably I'd say a month and a half in.
Yeah.
And we were tearing apart a unit to figure out what was wrong with it.
Yeah.
And there was a cage bit behind it. I got slapped across the face with that cage bit. Oh. And honestly, I did not feel it at first because it was like, oh shit, like I just got hit with
you just kind of like dazed in the moment.
Yeah, and then I felt my face to make sure I was okay. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm okay. I look down, I just see blood. I'm like, oh fuck.
You're like, fuck me.
Yeah, and then I go down, I wash myself. I'm like, okay, it's all good. I get home, and then the anxiety just starts kicking in because I didn't know, because it was metal, and obviously when you get cut by metal, you obviously have your risk factors like tetanus and like
you need to have
whatnot.
the shots and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and that sort of just went through my head.
Yeah.
And I started like having mad anxiety attacks, and like to this day, I still suffer with them, but they're not as bad as what they used to be. Like, I'd say within the past year or so, I had about 6 visits to the hospital just for anxiety attacks.
Fuck, man. Yeah, that's fucking hectic.
Yeah. And so that's why I try to distance myself from caffeine.
Yeah.
Because, as much as it's like, oh, like caffeine like will help you like stay awake and whatnot. Like,
no,
I don't like, there are many benefits to it, but there's also a lot of like consequences to having it.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%.
And lately, like, I've been thinking to myself, if I did want to like start that again, I've been looking to like alternatives, like, what is it, like matcha? Like,
yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, even fucking like tea has caffeine.
Yeah,
but there's like, it's enough that it's like, it chemically works. Like it's a chemical thing, and like, and that kind of speaks to what you're saying about how caffeine can interrelate with anxiety, even necessarily if someone were to not feel it in the moment, it's still a chemical thing that's happening in your brain. Yeah. And it's like coffee will just not help you at all. It's not. And I'm fucking saying this, and I'm a huge hypocrite because I have a fucking fat problem with coffee right now. Like, it's like, I mean, it was pretty bad, like, because I used to have little, like the little Nest, like the Nescafe satchels, like those little ones.
Yeah.
Dude, like there was a time there when I was like, because I was working at a golf course almost full time, and it was like, I was at college, so it was just like, fucking food like half the time. So I'd like have a coffee in the morning, have a coffee at work, and it would just kind of keep going. And there was just like one day where I think I had like 18 sachets in a day, and I threw up at work because I had too much coffee. And I just remember talking to my girlfriend. I was like, oh, I think I need to stop. Fuck.
Yeah.
But it's like, but it gets so normalize that, because obviously I you kind of like cut back and like you can chill out because it didn't affect me as like chemically, but you can kind of cut back and you kind of realize that it's like you just don't need it, but it's so normalized, it's so accessible that it's like everyone's using it though, right? So it must be fine.
Yeah.
But then it's also just never the case. I mean, look at anything ever. That's like,
Yeah.
just because everyone uses it doesn't mean it's good.
Yeah, I mean, also with that, like, you know, like with that, like caffeine, like it's a drug that like accumulates to everything else. Like you have that, you have like cocaine, whatnot.
Yeah,
like,
it's a stimulant. It is a stimulant. Meth is also a stimulant. It's like you can make that
I mean,
argument.
as much as it is weird, like me talking about this on a podcast, because admittedly enough, like I'm not one to use drugs. Like I've never touched a single drug in my life.
Yeah, I would also like to say that I find it also funny that it's like none of this is based in any sort of like medical evidence right now.
No.
It's just funny.
Just for full disclaimers, we're not medically trained professionals.
I had like an existential moment just then, just being like, wait, we're just like two fucking DJs. Just like,
We're just two
like,
DJs talking about caffeine.
like, no, caffeine is like meth. You understand? I'm like, oh yeah, true. We're just like two fucking DJs. But it's true. It's true. So I absolutely fucking fully derailed you. So I'm sorry.
No, that's all good. But yeah, like I'm one for like not using drugs at all. Like I've never touched a single drug. Like I may have been around people that have used drugs.
Yeah.
But if anything, the most I've done is vape. Like, and that's not even a drug.
Yeah.
Like that's just more something that can just bring you down health, like in a health sort of situation.
Yeah.
Like I had my own vape, but I only kept it for 7 days until I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm fucking so. My sister was a bit like that too. I remember she, told me one. I'd be fucking outing her, but I know no one fucking listens to this anyway. But I remember she was the same way. Like she like tried it a couple times. She was just like, I don't get it.
Yeah,
I just don't get it. I was like, fuck. I wish I was like that. Fuck. But I'm like better now, except it's like. It's obviously like got off him like over time, like kind of like managed to get off him. But point is like I think that's so fucking good that you were one of those people who were just like, meh, don't really care.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Like I honestly, I just don't really see the point of it. It's just gonna give you like black fucking lungs at the end of the day.
Yeah, pretty much. And then people go just straight to like sins and snus, and then it's just like get gum cams. So it's like fuck.
Yeah, that's
just
it.
Stop.
That's
I'm a
it.
hypocrite because I'm addicted to nicotine. So here we are. I'm being more hypocritical. That's 2 fucking strikes right now.
Fuck.
But I want to loop around again. I want to pivot back through again to your producing, because you are a fucking sound design king.
No.
And you're not going to say that. I know, Mr. Humble. But I fucking absolutely love your sounds, love your sound design. And I'd love to know straight up, what's your top 3 plugins?
My top 3 plugins. Holy shit.
Fucking putting you right on the spot.
Wow.
Putting you in the hot seat. Sizzling.
Okay, so my top 3, in no particular order at all, would be Phase Plant.
Oh, fuck, I don't want to get Phase Plant.
Massive.
Yeah.
Because that's just fucking OG.
Yeah.
And Ableton OTT, because compared to the Xfer OTT, it just something about it, like
just a bit stronger.
Yeah, and plus there's a lot more to fuck around with, compared to the Xfer one.
Right. I see.
Yeah.
So how is so you say Massive? Is that your kind of go-to rather than Serum?
No, I mean it's good for layering, especially with Tearout, because with Tearout it's like all layers and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like if you want some crunchy layer, like Massive's there to like give you that sort of crunch. You just need to add a shit ton of effects to it, and then you get that sort of, sound that you want.
Yeah. What's your process for creating those basses? How do you kind of like what's those kind of stages of creating the layers, coming from the idea to making it? Do you kind of do it on the fly as it needs it, or do you stay with the base idea?
I'll start off where any person wants to start off, like with a drum loop. So like a simple kick, snare, some open hi-hats, rides, whatnot.
Yeah.
Pardon me. And then from there, I'll start off with like a sub, depending on what key I want to use. So I'll go from like D to E. So I'll stick between the 3 main keys for like that kind of sound.
Yeah.
Which is like D, D sharp, E, whatnot.
Yeah, D sharp. I fucking love a good D sharp, dude.
And then depending on what key I use, I'll grab either like a percussion, so like some tonal percussion sound. So whether it's fucking say like some like a steel pan or something.
Yeah.
Or something like that's very metallic, like not like a crash where it's like, you know, noise.
Yeah,
but
a bit
something
noise,
that'll
yeah.
actually have a tone to it.
Yeah.
Or like even a cowbell, man.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
So then I'll just like stretch it, pitch it, like frequency shift.
Yeah.
Then it's just dispersers to give it that sort of punch.
Right. So can you go through quickly what a disperser actually does?
So disperser, it basically, think of it as it's basically you're picking a certain frequency of that sound and you're basically giving it a bit more phase where it's like instead of being like a doot, if you put enough of it on the one frequency, it'd be like
Right. I see.
yeah, or it'll just become a lot more like fucking like just phasey.
It's very hard. Yeah, it's very hard to kind of explain the things when you like if you had the sound here. It's like you can play it, but it's very hard to describe.
Yeah.
It sometimes.
So like a big example is if you look at like old school square 4 sounds and compare them to now, half the time the newer square 4 sounds, while they sound exactly the same as what the old school ones did, they use fucking disperser.
Right. I see. So it kind of gives it that really. I mean, yeah, I guess like phasey really is the only way to like really describe it.
I mean, I'm no how-about, but like, I try to explain it as good as I can.
It's hard, yeah. I mean, it's hard when it's just like when you just like make the shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
that's
I'm just
it,
trying to
man.
make it, bro. Okay, so you've gone like the metallic layer, you've dispersed the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
Where do you kind of go from there?
Then it's just a matter of if you want some crunch, you know, get a crunchy layer. So whether it's like another percussion with some distortion, or if you want to make your own and like a plugin, so like massive phase plant, serum, whatnot, give it a bit more texture, and then for a bit more punch, just either another percussion, like a smaller one, so like a little click or something, but then just make it like very knocky.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
And alternatively, if you wanted to like give your gun a bit more or your bass a bit more noise, you could use a snare and use sort of the exact same process as you do with the cowbell or that tonal layer.
Right.
And then from there, it's just all about mixing it, just making sure it sounds good and doesn't sound too loud.
Yeah.
Because once you make it, you still have to process it for the song. Like, you know, getting your reverbs and your like spectral stuff.
Yeah.
Making it more metallic-y than what it is.
Yeah, of course. Where does your sound selection kind of come into this, and at what points do you kind of differ from choosing one sound to another sound? To what dictates how you're going to go about choosing the sound and choosing which like metallic perk and
So
things like that?
basically, if I'm looking back at an old gun and I've been using the exact same fucking metallic sound like every time, I'll look for something similar or different and I'll go from there. I'll do the exact same process, and if I vibe with it, I'll be like, fuck it, I'll use it for this one.
Right. So is it a bit of like a kind of trial and error situation?
It's more of a trial and error than anything, because that's what production is these days. It's just trial and error.
Yeah.
If it works, it works. If it doesn't, try something else.
Yeah, 100%. I really like that. So then once you've got the gun, because I think this is really cool as well, because the reason I'm kind of going so deep into this is because it's like, you don't really think about because I really love the process of creating this like really kind of like heavy tear outy style, that's so unfamiliar to so many people because like you're one of the only people who really fucking makes them, right? It's like most people will just get samples. Obviously, people are gonna make them and everything.
Yeah.
But it's kind of cool to discuss with you how you make them because if I personally, dude, I just fucking just grab one.
Yeah.
Because I just go like I got no idea, but I kind of love hearing about the process and how you go about it because I think there's a lot of like sound design tricks in there.
Yeah.
That you can translate into different things. So once you've gotten all the sounds together, you got all the individual layers. What's your first kind of go-to post-processing?
Post-processing is to get the frequencies up, so like OTT and bit of saturator, make it sound a bit more full.
Yeah.
Between those, I'll put a reverb just to give it a bit more space, so it leaves something to make the mix in as a whole sound full.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I could put some spectral reverb. What's
the spectral reverb?
So spectral reverb, it's like a reverb, except you can add a sample into it, and the reverb will add the tone to that sample.
Oh fuck yeah, right.
Yeah,
That's
so
sick.
what I'll do is I'll add another metallic sample. I'll put it in there, stretch it, bring down the time a bit so that it sticks to the length of the sound.
Oh,
and
dude,
then it's just a matter of mixing it. And there's also an EQ option, so you can just isolate what.
Oh, so
frequency.
you could get rid of like if it's too harsh in the high end or if it's too like.
Yeah, you can set the sort of frequency you want to keep it at.
Oh, that's really fucking cool. I need to look into that. I know one thing you told me which changed my fucking life was kilohertz. You changed my fucking life with kilohertz because I remember it was your shot last year and you were just like, dude, get kilohertz.
Yeah,
and I was just like, what?
If there's one sort of plugin like company I can recommend, it's kilohertz because
100%.
they have such a wide range of just plugins.
Dude, you fucking changed my mind. It is so, not changed my mind, but changed my whole fucking world of plugins. I was like, what the fuck? They're so good. I use them all the fucking time. Fucking love them.
Honestly, they are probably one of the best things that I've ever invested in my entire life.
Yeah. And you get 30 for free as well. It's so fucking good.
And if you want, like, you could pay extra and get more, but it's still value for money.
You need it. Like, even if you do, even like, obviously it's just like, no, like, for sure, like, fucking get them. Like, because they have such sick fucking shit. But it's just like, even if you don't want to fucking pay, 30.
Yeah, you get
30 plugins.
30 plugins for free.
Dude, they have like a Foreman filter. It's so good.
It's insane.
Oh, dude. And I know one trick that I've been loving is the kilohertz ring mod. Is that I set it to just one sine wave and it gives this really cool phasing effect, like really quick, like wobbly phasing effect.
Yeah.
But without actually, because I was using the transgate for a little bit with a reverb over the top to kind of give it a wobble. But I found you can just use a ring mod and it just gives it such a. I even use it on vocals, dude.
Yeah.
It's so good.
It is like kilohertz, while being the most unique company, also has the most unique range of plugins. Like, while they are similar to like what most of your stock plugins and what every other company is doing, the way they the way they promote it, the way they showcase it, the way that the plugins are used, like, it changes the game entirely.
Yeah. No, it's so good and it's so they're so well rounded as well, which is what I love. There's just like a bit of everything. It's like even something so simple as like a reverb, and they're simple to use. Yeah, so simple to use.
Like compared to every other DAW or company's plugins, they're just all compacted to just one either rectangle or square. Like everything's there. It's not just
simple.
Expanded and like you have to mess with like certain parameters. It's just all there. You can adjust it to however you want, and it's all good.
Yeah, 100%. And it's like, I think if anyone wants to get some new plugins, get some fresh ideas, dude, get kilohertz because it's like it's just so good. It's like whatever reverb you use, just try the kilohertz one. Just try them because they've got so much different stuff and they're so easy to use. And it's fucking wild.
Honestly, you could probably ask any other producer, and if they don't say kilohertz, they are wrong.
They're just wrong. Yeah, leave. I know How About has a here's a really cool, especially free as well. But I know How About has a really cool plug-in rack that has like 90 different, they're all in like the shape of these like analog consoles, and you can like turn them on and off, and there's like compressors, there's saturators, there's like all these different things, which is like pretty cool. But it's like a monthly subscription, so in terms of like value, it's like you want to get the free one.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, for those who are starting out, like when you hear stuff like that, like don't think, oh, just because they have the best equipment, they make the best songs. That's just not true.
No, it's not.
No,
It's
literally,
not at all.
when I started out making production, like all I had was my laptop and a set of monitors. That's all I had.
Dude, yeah, 100%. And it's just like you can't pay to win. Like it's just like don't spend all your money getting all the plugins. It's just like it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
You were not gonna become like fucking noisier because you use some plugin that they have which costs like $400. It's just like, no, dude, that's not going to happen.
You could be as good, if not better than Noisier, with just stock plugins or even just free ones, man.
100%.
I know Leotrix, like most of his basses are just operator and just a shit ton of like OTT and whatnot.
Oh, bro, fucking operator. I know dude, there's like, that just sparked off such a fucking side tangent for me. I won't go into too hard, except I found on FL the equivalent of operator in Ableton.
Isn't that
but in
just
FL.
3X oscillator?
No, it's called Citrus.
Oh, Citrus.
Citrus is like, I've been trying to get into it. It's a lot. There's a lot going on, man.
Yeah.
But I kind of love it because I love that. It's like the same kind of randomization as well that you talk about in terms of like trying different things. It's like the random like FMing and this and that and like drawing in fucking waveforms and fuck, dude. It just goes, the game goes too deep and it's going to give me a fucking nosebleed if I keep thinking about it too
That's
much.
it, bro.
But I want to take it back one more time towards your process. So you've got the sound, post-processed it, it's there, it's juicy. Where do you go in terms of mixing and mastering? What's your process for that?
Honestly, my terms of mixing and mastering, like, you know, when I have a whole song done, like I have the idea there, like it's just all about ear. Like, you know, you could take, let's say, you could take some song that you like and that you take inspiration from. You can drop it down in like your set in like a, because what I do is I'll take my session and I'll have it in one big group. But then below that, I'll have a spare audio track and just have a track in there that I've been listening to lately. And if I take inspiration from it, I want to keep it there to use as like my sort of guide to how I mix.
Yeah.
I know with, I think it was, it was actually, I actually have a track coming out soon.
Fuck yeah.
Hopefully soon. Because I've been saying that a lot and it has not been filled. But I promise it will come out.
That's the battle, bro. That's always the battle. It probably will. There's the challenge. We'll see if it's out by the time.
No, it will be out by the end of this year. I will say that. Like before the year ends, it will be out. I will say that.
Yeah,
but
dude.
with that track, I mostly took inspiration from Rude by Nimda.
Right. I've not heard it because I am familiar with Nimda.
Yeah, like, and with that, like, there are a lot of artists I take inspiration from, like Nimda, DeLion, Marauder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, all your big Tearout guys, I do take a lot of inspiration from. But even like some of your other names, like Ray Volpe,
Yeah.
Subtronics, even.
Of course, yeah. Everyone's taking a bit of inspiration from that guy at some point.
Yeah, I'll just take inspiration from just anyone that I just fuck with. Like if you fuck with an artist, like it can be one, it could be many. If you take different ideas from them, or like not specifically steal them, but like gain inspiration from them.
Yeah, you want to build on them.
Yeah,
build
exactly.
them in your own way.
And you know, if you interpret it what they do in their own way, in your own way, then fuck it. You'll be able to make some sort of path.
100%. I think it's like you shouldn't feel bad about stealing as long as you're not like copywriting shit. It's like if you can steal the idea for a structure, you can steal an idea
Yeah.
for like a base. It's like that's fine.
I
That's
mean,
called building up creativity.
Yeah,
what
that's
it.
it.
Is.
What is it? There's this one sound design trick that I always use, that I've been using a lot. It's from one of Ray Volpe's videos. He has a multi-brain compressor, the same compressor, but as it was a specific preset, and then a camel crusher. And what that does, it just makes the sound like a hell of a lot more full if it's not already full enough.
Yeah, yeah. I fucking love a bit of Camel Crusher. I've said that a fair few times. I'm so here for Camel Crusher.
Yeah.
I saw a really cool mastering tip as well from Subtronics, where what he did was he put a so what he would do on the master chain is he'd grab I guess what I start doing now is I take down everything from about like 140 hertz, take it down 12 dB, 12 and a half dB. So it's like, it's basically gone. Like as low as you can, really. Like you can't go lower, but like as low as you can, like cut it out. Then put like a clipper in, put a saturator in. I even one time put a fucking OTT in there at 5%. And then like, as in like the mix levels at 5%. So it was only just kind of like giving the mid a bit of juice. Then you put the low end back in, and all that compression isn't going to fuck with the low end because you can do your own parallel compression in the actual mixing stage.
Yeah.
So you don't need to do it at the mastering stage, but then it kind of glues it together and brings out the mids. And then you put a clipper on the end to just like keep it all like chilled out.
Yeah, that's it.
But I fucking loved it, dude. I was like, I've been doing it for a hot second now. It's so
honestly,
hot.
Yeah, there are a lot of artists that do a lot of things in a lot of creative ways. And if you were to take inspiration from them, there's no harm, honestly.
Do it. That's the point. Yeah. Otherwise, it's like, yeah, exactly. It's just like you need to. I think it's like the most important thing to do with creating something new and building on other people's ideas.
Yeah, that's it, man.
100%. So, do you have any little nuggets of knowledge in terms of mastering, mixing? Like, what's your mastering process like?
Well, going back to what I said before, where I have my session in just one big group.
Yeah.
I think that was inspired from, I think it was either Mode Step or someone.
I really like that fucking.
Or just someone that did something similar. But I'll have like all my sounds and everything grouped into their own individual like channels. So I'll have a drum group, bass group, synth group, and then just effects and samples. And then I'll have all those groups into one big group.
Yeah.
And then in my main master chain, I'll have a loudness meter, a spectrum, and another spectrum which just shows like the it's the like how wide your mix is. Yeah. Like someone correct me what the fuck I've been saying, but
oh, who cares? You know what you're saying. You know what you're talking about.
But in my main master, like that will be my main master for the DAW, but the master for the group, I'll have a utility, so I'll use that to bring it down 16 dB, and crank up my volume, bring down whatever needs to be brought down, like mix it from there. Then I'll just use it for that, and to keep it. I wouldn't use it on bass mono because I found the utilities bass mono is just shit.
Right.
It'll fuck up your mix.
Right.
So what I then do is I'll grab a EQ, and then split it from A to B. So your A is your main like track, and then your B section is your side. So your mid side, it's like parallel compression.
Yeah.
But you're just messing with the frequencies on the side. So just those outer frequencies that nobody really hears.
Yeah.
So I'll bring down the lows, make sure the lows are just mono.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
I'll just mess with the mids and the highs, make them as stereo as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or not as stereo as possible, but stereo within a reason.
Yeah, you want the mix to you want to make sure it's wide. You
want to make sure it's
wide.
wide, but not too wide to the point where it just sounds like an absolute
But
mess.
there's not where it's like that's phasing.
It's just
like,
noise.
Fuck, dude. Yeah. No, exactly. No, I really like.
And then
that.
from there, it's just saturator, maybe a bit of compression, depending on how I feel.
Yeah.
And then just another EQ, just to like look at all the frequencies. If there's one that's standing out, bring it down just a tiny bit.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's very simple. Like you don't need to be how about and have like 90 different fucking things going on. You could have like 3 or 4 and it would sound fucking better.
As long as you know what you're working with as well, as long as you know what's going on, you understand the plugins, you understand what's happening as well. I think that's the biggest thing. How do you feel about redlining your master? Let it rip or take it down?
So with that, as fun as it is, like, and you know, people say, "Oh, redline till you headline." That's not always true.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you'll need to keep your sounds at a specific volume, because, well, to touch back on my mastering as well. After that EQ, I'll add a clip plugin, so that it kind of stays below the.
Yeah.
And look, if it's loud, it'll like stay at that range. It'll clip, but like. Even then, like, clipping's not that bad, so long as you're not clipping too much.
Yeah, within
like,
reason, like you said.
And just obviously don't redline if it sounds shit. Do not redline, and
true.
clip if you have to. But I will say, if there are circumstances where you want to redline or you have to, then do it.
Just fucking do it. And if it sounds good and you're not just doing it because you want it to be loud, then fucking rip it.
Like, I know there's a lot of artists that I know, like Vicinity. Some of his tracks, he will redline. But a lot of the times, like, as well, it really depends on the person.
Yeah.
And their style.
And the project as well, I suppose.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, because admittedly, the least amount of tracks I've had on a project is about 70.
Yeah.
Like, and I released it as that, and it just was good.
Yeah, dude. What are you fucking gonna do?
Like,
it's
you
like,
don't need
good,
100 to 200 tracks just to make a track sound good.
No, exactly.
Dude, you could make a track. You could make a song using 40 tracks, and it could sound better than fucking Justin Bieber.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like fucking exactly. I think that's a good kind of like just piece of advice that people actually need to like listen to, because everyone's always looking for like an answer, and everyone's looking for like this is the trick, and you have to do this and like this. But it's just like take your knowledge, bring it together, and then use it to just whatever fucking sounds good. Like, there's no one rule.
Yeah, exactly. And I know as well with like rhythm artists as well, like the most tracks they'll use are like 50 to 100.
Yeah.
Like rhythm is that simple, and you can make it that good with less than 50 tracks.
Yeah.
You don't need like a fucking gigabytes worth of like a project.
You don't need to wait like an hour and a half for the track to fucking export, because
that's
you've
it.
like thrown in
Because a lot of the time,
times.
like, it's not even layering. It's just more about processing and how you process your sounds.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Like, yes, layering will come a part of it, but it's just mixing, mastering, really.
Yeah, exactly. And you can get the same effect from extra layers than you can if you mix it properly.
That's it.
Well, yeah, dude, I really fucking like that. I think that's a good kind of point. I think we've kind of hit the perfect fucking time to say that. I mean, that's fucking like exactly what you need, and I reckon that's a good kind of little bit to end on as well. Do you have any other final little bits of knowledge or wisdom that you want to impart?
Yes.
Wise words of Callum Techwick?
Yes, I do have a bit of advice, and I know lots of people not gonna take it, because I know way too many people in this scene. Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't do drugs, kids. No one's gonna listen because I know too many people have seen.
Yep. Not gonna name names, but just saying.
But But we're watching.
We're watching.
We're watching you.
And yes, quoting back to the Ninth X Live, according to him, I am a government spy.
There you go. And there you go. We take that. All right, man. Well, fucking thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
Thank you. I really just wanted to do this. Like,
No, 100%. Well, I really wanted to pick your brain because, I mean, I always, ever since I met you at your show last year, I was always just like, dude, this guy fucking knows what's going on.
like, look, yes, as much as it's like, oh yeah, this guy knows what he's doing. I'm just as autistic as everyone else, bro.
And you know what? Actually, I'm going to jump in with some advice too. Everyone's autistic.
Yes.
Everyone's autistic. Everyone is fucking autistic.
Honestly, that is the better words of wisdom that I've ever heard to end a podcast ever.
Everyone's autistic, and whoever does drugs is also autistic.
Yes.
But everyone's autistic anyway.
Yeah.
That was the most fucked up sentence ever. I'm gonna end it there. Fuck it.
Oh my god.